Thanks for turning that camera. So welcome back to another Wednesday already. They come around quickly. Here in Ohio, we have a little break from all the rain we've been getting. We've had quite a bit of rain. I mean, like a lot of rain. And the sun is out right now, but my grass is about this high, so I'll have to get out there and mow maybe this afternoon. We're going to do some, of course, our chair yoga class, but I've got a couple of maybe some focused, a little more focused practice. We're going to focus on spinal alignment, so the alignment of all the vertebrae in the spine, and also on upper body, trying to maybe counteract the effects of perhaps sitting at a desk, rounding, arms are rolled forward, wrists are flexed, fingers are working this way. So a little more work focusing on upper extremities and spine. I'm going to pull in some mudras, so some hand gestures. And if you practice yoga, you know there are lots of mudras. There are different body parts that we can use for mudras, but typically in a Western class, I would say it's mostly hasta mudras, which involve the hands. And this may be the most familiar is prayer hands. It's called Anjali Mudra. And it just really means that, let me read something that's kind of pretty about this one. It's just with a gesture of reverence to each one I meet, I affirm our essential unity. That's a nice greeting, a nice way to just symbolize that I respect and honor you. So we'll be using that mudra. We're going to use some other mudras as well. The first one that we're going to use is called Merundanda Mudra. And I'm going to show you a picture of it. So I'll get it a little closer. And I'll show you with my hands too. You curl all four of your fingers into your palm, and then your thumb points out, but you hold the hands in the lap. So the little finger edge is on your thigh, and the thumbs are pointing up. And again, this is Marudanda Mudra. And this is for spinal alignment. And according to Hindu mythology, there's a mythological mountain called Merun, I think is the name, and Danda means staff. So it's really to invoke that connection between earth and sky. Or it can also just mean spinal alignment, which is kind of what we're going to focus on today. I'm going to add this to our breath practice. We almost always start with breath practice. So again, your thumbs are going to point up, little finger edges are going to rest on the thighs. I'm going to place mine on my thighs. And just sitting tall, reach up through the crown of the head towards the sky. And then feel the sit bones, the tailbone, the feet on the earth, that connection to the earth. As you breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. As you're breathing in through the nose, can you feel a sense of a rising energy from the tailbone clear to the crown of the head, uplifting energy, space between the vertebrae? And as you exhale, can you feel a sense of grounding? A sense that maybe the vertebrae are pressing into the discs a little bit, giving them a good squeeze. And then as you inhale, that uplifting energy again. And maybe the vertebrae are opening, making space for the discs to draw in some hydration, keeping those discs hydrated. Inhale, maybe a sense of reaching upward towards the sky. Exhale, a sense of the grounded sensation. So a dualistic approach, yin and yang. There's the yin of the earth, the yang of the sky. And we're connected to both of those places. We're that connection. We'll take about 3 or 4 more breaths here, thinking about the spinal alignment and being connected to the heavens and to the earth, needing that balance. 2 more breaths. And then if your eyes are closed, you can open them and shake your hands out a little bit. So while I'm up here close to the screen, I'm going to take you through another exercise for the wrists and the hands, a few things so I can be close by. So we're going to start with Anjali Mudra and then lace the fingers together like that and start to do some figure 8 movements through the wrist. And go slow so you can explore range of motion here. So you could go fast and you're really not going to get the benefit that you could get by going slow. And then reverse the direction. Sometimes the brain doesn't like that. You started in a way that the brain was happy about, and now I'm asking you to go the other way. So we're working the wrist, but we're also working the brain. And I always have trouble going the other way with this. Now let's keep the hands laced, but lift your forearms. Now we've done this together before, but I want you to reach out with the arms and you're getting a nice stretch in the fingers. So just the arms are going to move here. We're not going to do much with the spine, and then come back and touch the heart. I call this one my heart to your heart to help understand the movement involved with this. So coming back to the heart touching and reaching, getting that nice stretch through the fingers and a little bit through the wrist as well. Let's do 1 more each way. And then release and shake the hands out. Shake, 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 shake. So opening up the energy pathways, but we're also going to open up the fascial channels that the nerves, the physical nerves, travel through the carpal tunnel in the wrist and around the wrist into the hand. So it's the medial nerve, the radial nerve, and the ulnar nerve. So there's 3 nerves that travel into the hand. I'm going to take, it doesn't matter which hand, I want you to take your thumb and touch your little finger and then push. And you're going to feel a sensation here. You're opening up some space in the carpal tunnel in the wrist. Now you're going to take the other hand and the palm will face away from you, thumb faces down. Grab just your index finger. You're going to pull the finger back, nothing forced, just a nice stretch. And then reach the heel of the hand forward as you straighten your arm. And you'll probably feel the path that the radial nerve takes. So those pathways can get sticky, and we're flossing. Like you floss the teeth, this is flossing the nerve. Now release that, but keep the thumb and the little finger pressed together. Now your middle finger. Same thing, and you'll feel a shift. You'll feel the pathway of the medial nerve. And hold there. It can be a little tender, but it shouldn't be painful. And now release. And we'll take the last 2 fingers together, only because they're kind of sensitive. You take them apart. So it's your ring finger, your little finger. Now the ulnar nerve. And reach. And you'll feel a shift in where you're feeling this stretch, this tension. And then release. Shake the hands again. And we'll take the second side. So thumb to little finger, and it's not pressing like this, it's bringing the tips together. And when you press, you'll feel sensation in the wrist. That's opening up the carpal tunnel space. Grabbing index finger first, pulling, and then straightening. Noticing where you feel it. And then release that. Then we'll take the middle finger And feel the shift. And I'm up close to the computer, but usually I'll bring my arm down. I'll kind of anchor my hand to my lap. So feel free to do that, but I'm keeping things up so you can see it. And then we'll release that and take the last two fingers together. Finally, the last two fingers together. Push the shoulders down. And then release and shake again. Now bring the hands together like we did when we were doing our figure eights. And this time you're going to do this and push. So that top hand, I'm going to push that hand so I get a nice stretch in this part of my wrist. And then I'll go the other way, push. Let's do one more each side, push and push. And then release and shake it out. Now, one more thing, I want you to hold your hands like this, and I always think of squid or octopus swimming through the water. So focusing on moving each of the joints of the fingers and moving through the wrists as well. So the fingers spread, and then one knuckle at a time, like the tentacles, the arms, I guess, of the octopus. And then release and shake. Now I'm going to go back to the chair. And we'll work a bit more with the upper back, the arms. I want you to take your hands, and I think it helps to go underneath your shirt. We're going to do a little self-massage. So my elbows are in line with my armpits. And I'm going to reach back as far as I can without being forceful. And then press my fingers into the flesh of that upper back and just pull forward towards your upper shoulders. And then go back again, different place, and pull. Nice deep pressure. This always feels good. I've never had anybody complain about this one. Sometimes shoulder mobility can be an issue. Now press the fingers into the flesh again, and this time I want you to pull that ridge of flesh up and then let your head drop back into that ridge. Now slide your fingertips up your neck. So the fingers will push your head back into alignment. Bring your thumbs under your chin. So I'm just lifting my head up away from the cervical spine, lifting the weight off of the neck. And then you could play here and move your head a little bit. And then line the ears up over the shoulders and gently set the head back down. Bring the hands to the lap once again. Just pause and notice in this little bit that we've done, has anything changed? Now letting the arms hang down to the sides, I want you to bring your arms forward. The spine might move a little, but really focus more on bringing the arms forward so the shoulder blades separate behind you. So we're going to bring them forward, up, and then back. Now they're starting to squeeze towards the spine and down, forward, up, back, and down. Let's do two more like this. And really push the edge of the range of motion you can find here. Going slow. And then let the arms hang, shake the arms out again. I'm going to take my left hand to the top of my right arm and massage the deltoid muscles. Big muscle here. There's 3 heads to that muscle, so work all the kinks out there. And then continue to work down to the biceps and the triceps, keeping your palm facing up. And explore, maybe there's some tight places. Then work your way to your elbow and play around here a little bit. And then work your thumb on top and the fingers below, right between the 2 bones of the forearm, really pressing down into that space. And then when you get to the wrist, working through the wrist a bit. And remember, the bones of the wrist are really here in the heel of their hand, right where you have the crease. That's really the ends of these bones in the forearm. Just interesting. And then work around on the palm of the hand like you've never felt the hand before. You're going to press into the bones, into the soft spaces between the bones. And then take your thumb, give it a good squeeze and a tug, and then work your way through all 4 fingers. And then just squeeze the finger, squeeze the hand, squeezing your way all the way back up. And then both hands to the lap. Pause and compare left and right. Just notice. Maybe there's a difference, maybe there's not. Let's take the second side. So we're going to top of the arm, squeezing that big deltoid muscle. And then working your way down the upper arm, the humerus bone, finding the tricep and bicep muscles, working your way to your elbow. And then between the 2 bones in the forearm, radius in the ulna, and then the wrist bones. Just be curious about what you're feeling. Like palpate. So you're going to feel deep. And see what you can feel that your eyes can't really see right now. Use those fingers to feel that. And then squeeze the thumb and each finger. And then squeeze, 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 all the way back up. And now bring your arms and let them hang to the side. We're going to start just gently shaking the fingers again. Just shake and notice the sensation. See if you can direct your brain to maybe all of the fingers on your left hand. Both hands are shaking, but we're just feeling the left fingers. And then shift the fingers or shift your awareness to the right hand. And then get more vigorous as you can get, shaking as far as you can, all the way up the arms. Maybe you can bring some shake into the shoulders. And then bring the hands to the lap, come to stillness. Feel how alive everything is now. On your next inhale, let's reach up. Exhale, push the palms away from each other. Let the arms come down as the chin comes down. Let's do one more like that. Inhale, reach up. Now keep your arms up here. We're going to move on to the spine a bit now. I want you to drop your shoulders away from your ears while you're spreading those fingers, reaching above you, and feel the connection to the earth through your feet, through your sit bones. Now take your left wrist with your right hand. You're going to pull, pull, pull till you can't pull anymore. Then you're going to fold to the right. And then sweep the arms up. We'll come back up to a neutral spine, switching sides. Grab the right wrist with the left hand, pull, 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 and fold to the left. And come back up to center. Now let's just take this as a flow. So the arms, this will be like we're doing the wave someplace at a, I don't know, sporting event. We're going to turn this way to the right, sweep those arms almost like a rainbow, sweeping the arms overhead. But pay attention to the movement of the spine. This is a lateral movement with a side bend, lateral flexion. And lateral movements aren't as easy for us as flexion and extension of the spine. This is more of a reptilian kind of movement through the spine. But we need this as well. Now we're going to bring those arms up by the ears again. And I want you to keep the arms here, but twist yourself turning to the right. And then float the arms down. Sit nice and tall on your inhale. Drop those shoulders away from the ears on the exhale. See if you can get taller on your inhale. And as you exhale, maybe a little deeper twist. 2 more breaths. Breathe into the belly. Big expansion of the belly on your inhale. And exhale, draw the navel towards the spine. 1 more like that. Now swing your arms up by your ears. You're going to face forward. We'll take this second side, twisting to the left. Anchor your hands, sit tall on your inhale, reaching right through the crown of the head like there's a cord up there, and I'm pulling on that cord to make you sit taller. Look over the shoulder as you exhale. Breathe into the belly. 2 more breaths. And then swing your arms up by your ears and release the arms down to the sides. Let's do a few more shoulder rolls. Slow, forward, up, back, and down. Releasing maybe some tension that you didn't even know you had in the shoulders. Take your hands to your knees, and we're going to pull on the knees. The knees won't move, but we're going to send the belly forward, the chest forward, elbows are going to bend, and then look up, coming into a back bend. Now breathe into the heart space here. Drawing energy from the sky into the heart. Now push your hands down into your knees. We're going to go right back through neutral and then take a spinal flexion. So this would be cat back if we were on a mat. Well, let's hold this. Breathe into the back. Take a nice big breath and feel all those muscles back there. Now we'll flow with this one. As you inhale, I want you to take that full inhale, come into a back bend. Wait for your exhale, and then take the entire exhale and come into a cat back. Draw that chin towards the chest, reach those arms out long. Let's do 2 more each way. And notice the sensation across the sit bones, the pubic bone, the tailbone, all those bones down there. We're kind of moving around. As the pelvis moves, we can sense different bones down there. And then sit up nice and tall. The hands are already on the knees. I want you to slide the heel of your hand up that big thigh bone, biggest bone in your body, right up to the place where you can't go any further, and then push down into that bone. Feel that sense of being grounded through the legs, grounded through the feet. And then as you exhale, I want you to drop your shoulders away from your ears, reach up through the crown of the head and release that downward pressure on the thighs. Pause here, feeling that spinal alignment. Made space in the entire torso now, not just the rib cage, not just heart and lungs. There's lots of other organs living in there, and we've just made space for everything to do its job and not be all crunched up. Now we'll do another mudra. And I'll come back up to the screen. You're gonna bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra, prayer, but separate the fingers. So now I'm gonna keep the little fingers and the thumbs together, but I'm gonna open the first, second, and third. So now it kind of looks like a flower, a lotus flower. As you inhale, this flower is gonna rise up to the sun. You can take your gaze up with your thumbs. And then the flower petals close. You're going to push into the hands, a little isometric contraction. Bring your hands back to the heart. The lotus flower has closed. Now we're going to roll the backs of the hands together. The fingers are now the roots of the lotus flower. Lotus flowers grow from mud. So you won't be able to see me plant my roots in the mud, but you'll know what to do. I want you to roll those roots so they point downward. Hinge at your hips, go down there, touch the floor or in that direction. Plant your roots and then push into the backs of the hands. Come back up. And you're going to unfold those roots, finding your lotus flower again. Open it up and it reaches up towards the sun. And come back down. The flower closes. Roll to the backs of the hands. Flip those roots so they point down. Hinge at your hips. Go down and plant your roots. Push into the back of the hands. We'll do one more. Lotus flower maybe goes up a little higher. Lotus flower closes. Hands to heart. Roll the backs of the hands together. Turn the roots down. And then bring the hands back up to heart center, back to Anjali Mudra, back to prayer hands. So the very last mudra that we'll do with a little, just a little quiet meditation is called Adi Mudra. And this is a mudra for stillness. And it looks like that. So you take your thumb across your palm and you wrap your fingers around your thumb. That's it. Then you bring your hands to your lap. So the palms are facing your lap. I got an itchy nose today. I think there's high pollen count or something. In fact, I might sneeze. I'll warn you now. So just start to breathe in through the nose. Excuse me, and out through the nose. Remembering how we started with Merdanda Mudra, reaching up through the crown of the head towards the sky and feeling that sense of being connected to the earth as we exhale. That central channel of energy within us is called the Sushumna. We're lined up, the energy is flowing. And we're resting here in the stillness that comes from Adi Mudra. Feeling the strong bones of the skeleton in alignment, holding us up. Allowing for the muscles to soften and relax and let go. Feeling that stillness of the moment. We'll take a few more breaths here. Two more. Last one. And if your eyes are closed, start to open them. And then open up the hands, move the fingers around, maybe some circles through the wrist, maybe some more shoulder rolls. And reaching up one more time together, bring the hands together above you in Anjali Mudra. And exhale, bring your hands home to the heart. A gesture of honoring each other. May you have peaceful thoughts, peaceful words, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful world. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. I hope your arms and neck and spine feel a little better, and fingers and wrists, and kind of neglected your legs. You're on your own for your legs today.
Delicious. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you so much, Cindy.
Thank you.
Bye
Love
bye.
the lotus
Thanks.
flower.
Have a great
Take care.
day.
Thank
Thanks,
you, you
Cindy.
too.
Bye.
Bye.